You're gonna get nothing but that raw, that uncut, that day-to-day, that makes you stronger as a man, that keeps you going. Dating rules to live by, regardless of the type of relationship. Stay tuned. It's a new day, men gotta wake up. Can't stay stuck when you're down on your luck. The game fucked up, but the world don't care. Welcome back to the Anthony Spade channel. Before we get started, I want you to watch the entire video. If you like the video, press the like button at the end, press the subscribe button at the end. But first, watch the entire video. All right, today I'm going to be talking about rules that you should live by, regardless of what type of relationship you're in. Whether you're doing friends with benefits, whether you're dating, whether you and a woman are actually in a relationship. If you maintain these rules, then you help keep your confidence in a relationship, and it doesn't allow you to get too attached to the point where you're blind. In most relationships, people have common sense, but when your emotions take over, it causes you to be blind. This is how people can listen to what everyone tells them about their bad relationship, but they fail to react on it. It's because they're emotionally tied up. So today we're going to talk about the mindset that you need to have before you start dating and what you need to do while you are dating. All right. First, you must learn to say less and don't gossip in relationships. When you start gossiping in relationships, you start going down the path of a woman. See, when you're around a woman, you want to be quiet as possible and let her talk. But when you talk, you make sure you talk with aggression. You make sure you talk and make common sense. Too many guys get indulged into the woman's lifestyle. You get indulged into her gossip. You start paying attention to what her and her friends are doing to the point where you lose yourself. Majority of you guys out there, you before you met the girl that hurt you, you had a group of guys that you were hanging with. But the moment you met that woman, you lost all your friends and you indulged into her lifestyle. Once you indulge into a woman's lifestyle, she has complete control over you. If you learn to stay outside the gossip and say less, it helps you maneuver better when you're with her. Next, establish boundaries whenever you're with a person and with a woman. Do not be afraid to tell her what she can and cannot get away with. That's something that a lot of you beta males do not know how to do. You do not have the confidence to tell a woman exactly how you feel. Well, before you get in a relationship, start practicing telling everybody how you feel. All right, regardless of any situation. It don't matter if it's man, woman, child. Learn to be brutally honest about things and set boundaries which you're willing to accept and which you're willing not to accept. When people see that you don't have any boundaries, that's when they take you give them an inch and then they take a mile and then they run all over you. Learn to establish your boundaries. All right. Next, give people their space and move slow. I tell guys all the time, when it comes to a woman, the slower you move, the faster she will. And the reason for that is because time's always moving fast now. Most people are going to sleep on a Monday and you're waking up on Friday, not realizing that time has moved fast. Right. So understand, a week without talking to a woman is not enough time. I told a guy on my live, you called a girl in 3 days. She's expecting you to call her in 3 days. But being that time is going by so fast, them 3 days that you waited to call her felt like 15 minutes from the time you got her number to the time you called her. So nowadays, learn to actually be the introvert that you are and stay distant and don't talk to them as much. Talk less, call less. What does that do? That gives people space and time to miss you. When people miss you, they respect you. Understand, people respect the person that they don't know that much about. Once people know everything about you, then they run all over you. Next, love yourself first. It may sound cocky, it may sound arrogant, but you have to love yourself first. A lot of people may look at it like, well, if I love myself, it's going to make me appear arrogant. No, it's not. It's not going to make you look that cocky. Make sure you take pride in what you look like. Make sure you take pride in how people perceive you, but don't be indulged into it. Be comfortable with who you are. Next, don't try to change people's minds. Too many times people out here love to keep talking. You love to keep trying to prove people things in order to change their mind. It's not like that. Nowadays, we live in a narcissist world. Most people believe what they believe. So allow people to believe what they believe and stop spending too much time trying to convince somebody of something. I go in my comment section all the time and I see people telling me a whole bunch of stuff that I should be doing. If I listen to everybody in my comment section, my channel would have no subscribers. Because pretty much a lot of people agree with me, but you have those small people that don't agree with you. Don't pay attention to that. Learn to trust yourself. Trust yourself to move forward and stop caring what other people think. Next, be accountable. When I say be accountable, there's no such thing as excuses. All right? That's why successful people say there's no such thing as excuses. Stop making excuses. You have to do that. Learn to not have excuses for everything that happened in your life or excuses for why something didn't go wrong. Next time something go wrong, don't think of an excuse to tell somebody. Just be accountable. I was wrong. I made the bad mistake. I did this. Okay. And settle it. Too many people, when they fail and things don't go their way, the first thing they start saying is all of their excuses. And then you have some people that'll give you a list of excuses and then be like, I'm just saying there's no excuses. I'm just saying that this was going on. No. Be accountable. The more you can learn to be accountable, the stronger you look as a person, the more a woman and other people are going to respect you. Next, don't be afraid to argue. All right? Don't go looking for arguments, but don't be afraid to argue, because when you argue, you're standing your ground. In today's world, we have too many debaters. We have too many people that know everything. We have too many people that think they're geniuses because they could go to Google and just keep pulling up information. So people are walking around thinking that their belief system is right. So if you have a belief system that you believe is right, learn to stand your ground so you can't be manipulated. All right? Don't be afraid to argue your point, whether you're wrong or whether you're right. Don't be afraid to argue your point, because that allows you to stand your ground and allows you to be red pill, but it gives you confidence in others. By standing your ground, you'll be able to see weakness in people that you didn't even know. Most strengths that people have is only in their mouth. The louder they are, the weaker they are at heart. So when you stand your ground, you can spot out the strong from the weak. Next, speak up when there's a problem. That's something that a lot of people don't do. You sit back and you allow things to continue to happen that are bothering you. That's what most of y'all do. She's bothering me. This bothers me. That bothers me. Learn to speak up and say, that bothered me. I don't want to deal with it. Learn to be that argumentative, like I said in the last thing. Don't be afraid to argue. Stand your ground. When you see something that you don't like, make sure you point it out that you don't like. But when you start acting like this, expect the people around you to change. And the reason why they're going to change, and they may look at you funny at first, is because they're used to you being a certain way. Show them that you are a stronger person and you're not afraid to point out flaws within yourself and flaws in them and flaws in the situation. All right. Next, get rid of the my type. See, some of you guys have it in your head where you're like, this is my type. I only want that. I only want this type of woman. Let me tell you guys something. When it comes to dating and relationships with women, a lot of you guys' neurological system are programmed to the girls that you're jerking off to. So when you start talking about women, you fantasize that type of girl because you want that type of girl to want you. And when she don't want you, now you're getting mad. It's the same thing with women. Women want a certain type of guy. And when that certain type of guy doesn't want them back, now they get mad at all men. Okay, what you have to do is get rid of the my type. And you got to start going with what girl is moving in my direction. What girl is actually into me. What girl is more realistic of me being with. She may not be the cutest thing in the world. She may not be the smartest girl in the world. She may not be a model. You may be an ugly dude that need to be with an ugly woman. That's the problem. Once you learn to get of the my type or I gotta have this type, a whole different world is gonna open up, because you can have somebody into you that's not pretty physically, but once you get to know them, their mind, body, and soul can look extremely good to the point where you overlook how bad they look. A lot of women would do this to men when they get desperate. But a lot of you desperate men that are really seeking relationships and really hitting my email up to learn how to be in relationships, lower your standards. Get rid of the my type. All right? And if you learn to stick with these rules, whether you're dating, whether you're full blown, you won't get hurt as much because you'll be able to show strength as a person. All right? This is Anthony Spade. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button, notifications button. Hopefully I was able to help you with the rules of dating regardless of the relationship. Hasta la vista.